Hey, how you doing? How's everybody doing today? Good? Alright, let's get started. We're gonna do a Jennifer versus as black and Maggie as white. Let me get a drink. Yeah, loving it. Ah, good stuff. Okay. Knight f3, knight f6, g3, g6, King's Indian symmetrical attack. Rook, bishop g3, 2, bishop g7, so the same. d5, d4. She would love to play this, but it doesn't work. This actually isn't good for. It played c6 in the Nimzo Grunfeld defense with knight f3. C takes d, c takes d, and then knight to c3, castles, knight e5, knight c6, castles, and bishop f5. So Jennifer has fully mobilized her forces except for the queen. Maggie is surprisingly 2 pieces down from fully mobilization. So knight takes, b takes c, and knight a4, knight d7, because what Maggie wants to do is get a knight to d7, and Jennifer wants to, when Maggie does that, drop it, just take it and say, hello, my little friend. Not gonna happen. And she could just take it at that point. Now she wants to try her darndest to get this going, but after e8 is also good, because now she's planning on going e5 too. That attacks the queen, and then bam, kaboom. That's what we're wanting. And that's the line that breaks open right there. Bang. Knight takes c. Knight takes e. H. And oh, there goes Harry. There's Harry. Harry. Oh yeah. You gotta love Harry when Harry comes up the board like that. Rook e1, a6, knight, rook c5, queen b7. Kind of awkwardly placed pieces for Maggie. Queen a1, trying to win this here. She's trying everything. King moves. e3, bishop h. This is so that she can remove her queen and the knight, and she has 3 pieces protected at that point. Kazam, I like Jennifer's position. I almost consider it fully winning. At this point, I think it's almost fully winning. I don't see really any play for Maggie. Bishop d7, queen. Queen knight b6. That's an interesting move. It's a sacrifice. If you take here, you pick up. So she's been practicing her tactics. Jennifer has. So it tells you tactics, my friends. Queen c2, bishop f5, takes. So she had a, that was a nice tactic by Maggie, you gotta say that. h4, knight c4, rook e1 check, king h2, and queen g5. Now all the forces are coming in. d5, queen c7, king g2, wow, pound away. Queen there, queen takes, bang. I was wondering why she didn't play here. I think it's because of this here. Hey, how you doing? And I guess that still leads to kind of a mating setup. Kazam. There you go. I guess that's why. So that was a pretty good one. Hey Frank, how you doing? And back. Oh, 25, I think 41. So we're doing really good in tactics. Yeah. C4. And we almost solved a 2900 level puzzle. We were rook move away. We took, instead of moving over and attacking a pin piece, we took a piece. It looked winning, but there was more winning of a position, so we were one move away from a 2900 level puzzle. So that's a good sign. So they're throwing some really good ones at us, so it's going to be fun when we do puzzles. This one is Timur versus Awonder. This is the one when Awonder lost to Timur, but what happened though is this was a day ago, but there was one that Awonder won just today, and we'll do that one tomorrow. I wanted to do one on Timur. One that he won in the U.S. Championship. So this isn't a anything on Awonder. I was just going to show you one that he won, Timur. Awonder beat Kobe today, so we'll do that one tomorrow, and we'll show that one. But I wanted to show a really good one that Timur did. Oh yeah. I know we were so close. We still, even though we missed it, we still got a point. So that's how big of puzzles they're throwing at us now. So even though we missed it on the last one, we still got 1 point for it. So that was pretty cool. So all right, White's going for the English opening. We're just getting warmed up on 2 games. One from the Women's Championship, U.S. Women's Championship, and one from the Men's U.S. Championship. Yeah, loving it. D4 or D3, D5, C takes D5, knight takes D5. Yeah. I gotta say, some of the games that are going on are out of this world good. I don't know. It's hard to pick, because they're so high quality games. So, but I'm just saying, Jennifer Yu is actually going off like a firecracker. Good. Boy, she's like 4.5 out of 5. So the one she drew was Annie Wang. That's the only one she drew. If she probably had faced Maggie, she would have been 5 out of 5. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Bishop E7. Yeah, there's Annie Wang won a really good one against her opponent today too. It was like we'll take care of that one. It was Voister. She defeated her in I think 29 moves or 39 moves. I believe so. I think it was under time control, and it was so beautiful. All the combinations that Annie set up for that victory, I was like, wow. And then Tatev defeated Arena Crush today, so that was I was shocked about that because they had a really neck and neck game for a while, and then somehow Tatev got as they said, a rung up on Arena, and from there it just slowly, incrementally, she took over the lead in the game and won. Yeah. Annie's game is a really good one to go over if you're wanting. I didn't really get to follow. I was following Annie's game, but I heard Maurice and Yazzer and Jennifer talk about Irina and Tatev, so that should be a really good one too. So, but Annie, I know for sure played a stellar one. Okay, this is interesting how Tamura is setting up. He's doing like a hedgehog kind of setup formation. All he would need to do at this point is A3 and like H3 and get a kind of hedgehog position. And you gotta admire and wonder. He's going full blast at Tamur right now. And he's trying to hold here. He also wants to get some A3 and B4 power thrust going. I mean, this is Tamur. I'm sorry. I mean, this is what a Wonder is throwing it, and Tamur wants to get A3 and B4. That's what I mean. Knight or Bishop F5, Knight E4, and I wonder castles. Sometimes it's good to castle early, yeah. So you have to always gotta be careful though, because my teacher taught me that if you castle too soon, your opponent can actually set up a plan based around your castled king. So it's good that I wanted a castle, but Tamur might be able to set up some play around a Wonder's king's castling on the king side. A3, there we go. Bishop E2, A5, Queen C2, and now the chance of Tamura castling Queen side is not really going to happen because this kind of was a Wonder saying, go ahead, or as they say, make my day, go for the castles, see if I can't get a B5 at you, and then after B5, B4, and I'm going to open up the king. So he rightfully 3 or 4 moves later castled, or 3 moves later. There you go. And now it's going to be who's got the better grip on the position. And I like Tamur's position better. I think he has a better position with his knight's better, but I do see the merit for a wonder potentially taking and then keeping the position somewhat closed. But I think probably I don't know if the two knights in this type of setup would have enough counterplay against the light squared bishop. So you have to be very careful when you trade off your bishops, a bishop for a knight, that your imbalance doesn't cost you in positional play. Because at this point, I wonder if he has the two knights, he's going to want to keep the position more closed, and there's one open file, so he decided to go more a4 and try to put a bind on white. I wonder's trying to do that. Queen b1, bishop g6, queen a2. A really interesting move. This was kind of a puzzlement to me. I was like, whoa, what you doing? And then it makes sense a little bit later on as you go. His whole goal is based on the f7 weak point. So if you notice, he's taking scope on that. He's trying to keep a wonder's king off to the side, so potentially there could be some sacrificial ideas. Well, that's kind of Timur's style. Is kind of a little he's a unique player in the chess community. That's why I like him. He's like a berserker in some of his play. He'll go all in, and if he gets an idea and he gets an inkling and a feeling for it, he'll go all in on that idea. You gotta admire that, but you also have to realize that it's you have to make sure the ideas that you do play, though, that you go all in on, work. That's what my teacher told me. He says that it's better to have a plan that doesn't sink the boat than having no plan at all. And so, but this was a unique idea. I believe there's a book out right now about Alpha Zero's game versus Stockfish or something like that, and they had a game where Alpha Zero pocketed the queen to h1. The queen went to h1, and so a lot of the grandmasters are reading that book. I forgot the name of the book, but I think Maurice Ashley has had that book, and they kind of were talking about it. And these type of moves are going to become more readily played because they have a point. This move does have a point. The point is the queen to a2 has a point of stopping the king from basically mobilizing towards the center. So if you want to think about it, if we trade everything off and it comes down to basically just a queen and king, Timur's king is actually better because it's one step closer to the center. So you have to that's how the computer analyzed. It doesn't analyze like the humans do, like what type of mental thing is there. They do more computing. How many moves does it take to get there? How many moves does it take to get here? If my opponent moves there, what do I get? And if they make a mistake, they don't mind moving back. So like, let's say it made a mistake, and let's say this, the computer wouldn't mind moving back to b1 if that was a slight inaccuracy. We would have a problem doing that because we, as chess players, don't like to admit that we made a mistake. So, but if you do make a mistake, it's better to admit it and move back than to lose the game. So just keep that in mind when you're playing. Some of the hardest moves to actually spot are retreating moves. So, and that's what computers are actually really good at. Our engine's really good at noticing are the retreating moves. So, but okay, e4, rook a e8, E takes f5, rook takes f5. Okay, so now Timur has the isolated D pawn. They both have, one has isolated E, one has isolated D. A Wonder has, in my opinion, a slight advantage right now. Very slight, because of how his pieces are placed. This knight is kind of very awkwardly placed. It's very questionable because it can be kicked out with h6, but maybe that's what Timur wants, is for a Wonder to weaken the king side even more, so that the g6 spot becomes or square becomes a vulnerable point later on. And then once the light square bishop gets traded off, the queen could potentially go to b1 at that point, and then have a nice in route to h7 via b1 to h7 diagonal. So, oops, there. Knight e4, bishop, there we go. And there we go, he had to retreat. Bishop e3, e6, rook fe1, knight f4, bishop takes f4. Now this was a, you have to be okay with some of the ideas, because this actually undoubles. If a Wonder wanted to, he could potentially take here on e takes f, and then he doesn't have the isolated pawn anymore, which means he has a better endgame struggle. But he does have one drawback to that move, that now this knight is barricading the f4 pawn, which means that this bishop doesn't have a very good scope from h2 to b8. So he took with the rook, because at the right moment this could actually be unleashed with a tempo on this knight. So this pawn could actually push, yes, it's attacking here and the knight, and this bishop would be attacking h2. So now bishop d1, target on a4. This puts the question to Timur and says, if you take here, my friend, I will take here, you will have to take back, I will take here, and now, do you feel really comfortable? Was it a wise decision for you to, my friend, trade? And yes, you got a chance for an outside passer, but your king is very vulnerable, so yeah, they had to calculate that, and wisely he chose not to do that. Bishop takes, knight takes, queen takes, and now I like white again. I think white's having a good play here. Queen c2, rook e f8, queen takes. So they both won pawns. I thought that was a pretty nifty tactic here that a Wonder played right there. And I was like, that was so cool of a combination that they played at this moment right here. That was like a cool tactic. I was like, yeah, that's like a 3000 level tactic right there. Rook a2, knight takes. So but he's gonna lose a pawn. Wonder's got a back rank issue. Now you got to see the idea of Queen A2. The whole idea was based on the win of a pawn in the endgame. And this allows for Timur to actually win the pawn. Otherwise, what would happen if a Wonder's king was here? He could have doubled up rooks on f2 and had 2 rooks. But now it takes him 1 move in. Now Timur's good. h4. Takes. And now I truly favor white here. It's just a matter of operation, getting your pawns going. King h7, king h2, king h6. This cuts the king out, rook d8, or d5, not d8. g5, h takes. But now Wonder's trying to get his king mobilized. So these 2 pawns really aren't going anywhere compared to that. This is the pawn that Wonder has to be very concerned about, the d pawn. King h5, king h3, and he's like, go ahead, I Wonder, take it. And then he goes wham, and then he'll take it right there, and then two passed pawns. So Wonder can't do that. He's making him wait. There you go. Check. King G. In theory, he could win this pawn, but he would have to be careful here. And now he's kind of out of play here. You have to be really careful with your infiltration now at this point. He also could potentially just pin the rook, and then after takes, it's up the board they go. G5. This is the problem. The king got mobilized, white's king. Oh, and Lucinda. You could actually and it's still winning. So at this point it's game over. Game, set, match. If he tries this, you have that, and then if he tries this, you can actually play there. And if he checks, you come up, and if he comes over, you come up. If he comes this way, you actually can come down here. If he comes up, you come there. Oops, sorry, wrong. Sorry about, I mean right here. I gotta get rid of that E3. That was a mistake on my part. And now you're safe. There's no points, and it's all over at this point. So you'd have to play like that to pin there, and he'd have to check, and then now you have a cross Lucinda. and it doesn't matter now. It's all over. So, all right. That was a really good game. Are we ready for tactics? All right. Oh, an interesting endgame. Well, I was just wondering about C4. That double attack does cause a problem, doesn't it? Is there any problem to that move? I don't really see any problem. Yeah, I think we have to play, if I'm not mistaken, D4. Sorry, it wasn't C4. It's actually D4. And then we'll have to play Rook C. Let's see. So D4, Bishop, D2. Well, this is a tough one because the pawn's really advanced. Oh yeah, that covers. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, that does make sense because once we move here, Bishop D6, and then we can move our Rook, and it guards the square. Yeah, that's kind of a different one for sure. Alrighty then, let's see here. Looking at the queen's almost trapped. At first glance, bishop e3 looks interesting. So bishop e3, d4, and then knight takes d4, knight takes d4, bishop takes d4, and then queen to c6, queen c, oops, c6. But so, oh, I got it. a4, a4, a5. And you go a4, then a5, and the queen is trapped. The queen is trapped at that point. He doesn't have enough time to save the queen. Maybe I was looking at. Let's just take a look at that. So a4, knight e5, knight to e5, bishop a4, knight d5, bishop takes e4, d takes d takes e4, and then knight to d4, and then a5 potentially to come. Or even bishop e3 is plausible at that point. You could even play after a4. Drat. I'm trying to figure out, because it's bishop e3 seems too easy. That is true. I see what you're saying. Bishop e3, d4, and c takes d. Then you have knight c takes d and knight takes d. Knight takes d4. think we win a, let me see here, I think we win a knight in this line. Let me see, bishop, e3, d4, knight takes, d4, knight takes, d4, and then queen takes e4, queen takes e4, something like that. And then now we're going to be winning another, we'll win a knight in that line. So I do believe it's bishop, but knight takes at this point. See, then we take, and then we win the, oops, sorry, wrong takes, my bad. It was I took the wrong way, drat. Because the knight still is pinned to the queen, and this wins a knight. Drat, it's drat. So close. This way, the queen, oh, it's c5. Okay. That's the reason, c5. Okay. I didn't see c5. Bishop takes here, and c5 still doesn't do anything because we can just rip off the. Oh, b takes c. Okay, b takes c. That works even better. Bishop takes b5, and then pawn takes. So he takes at that point. Okay. And then we're up a whole piece still in that line for a pawn. Alright. Drat. So close. So close. Is this for real? Really? Bishop g5? That can't be that simple. Bishop g5. I must be missing something. Do you see anything wrong with bishop g5? Do you see anything wrong with bishop g5? I'm just looking. Oh, I see. Bishop g5, knight c6, but then we have bishop takes, d2 check. So I think we can move our queen after that. Yeah, I don't see anything wrong with it. Let's just win it. There we go. Those are kind of awkward ones. They throw you those curveballs to see if you can go from really, tactical one to a 1 or 2 move knockout, or just 1 move. Okay, so let's take a look at this here. Okay. The knight is pinned, so how can we double? F3? What? Did we get it right? I kind of don't remember this. Some of them I don't remember if it was a week ago. No? Oh. Did we try F3 when we did it? Yeah, I'm looking at that too. F3, Queen H6, H5, and then knight takes F7. And let's see if we can't find it. F3, Queen H5. Knight F7, knight F7. Bishop takes E3. Oh yeah, so we drop a piece there. We drop a piece at that point. But we could take with the rook, so. takes f7. Bishop takes e3. F takes e3, and queen takes e2. So knight takes f7, bishop takes e3, and then basically rook takes e3 would have to happen at that point. And if king takes f7, queen takes d7 check, king f8. I'm thinking f8. And f3 could be played at that point. Economy, do you have any ideas on this puzzle? If you're here, do you have any ideas on this puzzle? It feels kind of like we somehow need to get our knight out of this spot. I was trying to figure out a way to trap the queen, but I don't think there is a way. That would deal a mate though, if we could I gotta say that would deal checkmate, because Erie talked about when we played f3, queen h5, and then rook b7. If rook a d8 could actually be played at that moment. So that's the only sitch that I'm looking at. That's kind of why knight takes f7, and if bishop takes e3, rook takes e3. That holds the knight, and now we're threatening to play queen takes d6 check. So the knight takes f7 feels more to the point of the idea. It seems more tactical. It actually seems more tactical. But so it was f3. Oh. Oh, it's still the bishop's still protected. Silly me, why didn't I see that? For some reason I didn't think the bishop would be protected. Because if the bishop takes, rook takes, and he still has a sitch. You gotta keep that in mind. f3, pawn f3. Ah, snap. That hurt. 14. For some reason I thought that the bishop could take and we would lose a piece. I didn't see that the rook could actually hold. I didn't think it was gonna work, but I guess it actually did, surprisingly. Surprisingly. Ooh, I've got an idea. Bishop h6. Oh, rook a2, interesting. That's more interesting than mine. Yeah, that's a lot more fun. Yeah, that's much more fun. Rook a2 looks a lot more fun. Because he could actually, if we play bishop h6, he could play queen takes a1. And even if bishop takes e2, he can retreat his queen back to b2, and so we really haven't accomplished anything. But rook a2, queen would have to go all the way back to b6, and then bishop takes c3. And we're up a whole piece in that line. And if queen took, yeah, so oops, Sorry, almost made a mistake there. Good, we got that. Gotta make sure I click the right piece, not the wrong piece. The right piece first. Let me see here. I'm looking at rook b8, check, king a6, b5, check. If king a5, bishop d2, check, king takes a4. So not looking too good for us here. Yeah, if b5, he has rook. I don't know if b5 is right because c takes b5, and then he's got a route. Oops, sorry. b5, c takes b5. And then he has a spot that he can go to. I still think, oh, I get it. We can take a takes. Okay. I think we're still okay. I think you're right. b5. C takes, I don't know why I didn't say this. And then a takes b5. And we still have the potential for mate. He has a7 at that point. That's why I'm thinking it might be rook b8, king a6. Oh, and then bishop. Oh, a6, bishop d2 at this point. Oh, we got it. And now we're threatening mate. And see, let's see. Rook b8 check king. Oops, check king a6. I think bishop d2 could be met with b5. Yeah, I know it's this first. Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Hooray! Nice job. Nice work. Okay. An end game. Okay, let's see. b5, king c5, king e3, king takes, b5, king e4, king c5, king takes e5, king c6, king f6, king d7, king takes f7. Or can he actually rotate around? Why do you like king e5? What's your line for king e5? Oh, if he goes out to the b2 pawn or b4 pawn. Okay, let's say king e2, e4. Let's say b5, king c5, king e3, king takes b5, king takes e4, king c6, king f, king f6, king d7, king takes f7. Maybe. Maybe. let's say he goes after our pawn. King e2, king c4, king e3, king takes b4, king e4, king c5, king takes e5, king c6, king f6. Oh, you were thinking king, so king e2, king e4, b5, king d5, king e3, king c6, or c5, and then king e4, and I guess it still works. Let's try and see why. Okay, so now what do we play? Do we go b5? Is it the b5 line at this point? We can't leave this pawn, otherwise if we go king f2, he'll go king d3 and the pawn will queen. So we can't go king f2. So I think king f2, king d3, and it will end up becoming a queen. I think we have to distract the king at this point with king with b5, right? King d2. King d2. e3 check, king e2, king c4, king takes e3, king takes b4, king f4. It's going to be interesting. Okay, we'll give it a shot. Now we push the pawn. Now it's b5. Now b5. Okay. Okay. That was kind of odd. I wonder, I have to check out to see why the other line didn't work. I think it's all based on how far the king is away. Let me see here. B5's a draw. Interesting. Interesting. So B5. King C5 here. Takes. C6. He takes. King C5. King comes up. Okay. Maybe. Oops, I think I missed something here. Ah, King D7, that's it. Oh, I get it. And then he makes it just in the nick of time. Ah. Shouldering the king away. Oh, okay. I just wanted to see that. That was an interesting one. I'm always interested in those endgame puzzles. Let's see here. So, excuse me. Let's see here. We have to be careful of this line here. A7 rotates the 2, and well, I guess you're right. We would go A8 equals queen at that point. Okay, so that's too slow. I was thinking maybe A7. He might try B4 check, but I don't think so. I don't think he'll try that. I think you have it with A7. I think, yeah, I think you have it with a7 on that one. We have to be careful if king a2, he's got b4. He's got b4. And then a8 equals queen, rook to a3. Rook a3, check. And then queen takes a3. B takes a3. King takes a3. And I think it's a draw. But wouldn't it be wouldn't it lose for us though? Doesn't, don't we lose a queen though? We lose our queen, right? I see what you're saying. I think you're right on that. Yeah. Let's go with it. Wait a second. Nope, not that. Okay. Oh, a5. Yeah, if we queen, I think it's a draw. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's a draw. Yeah. I thought it would be a draw here because I didn't think we can get our king close enough, our knight close enough in time to protect this pawn. I thought it might have been a draw. I didn't see the other move though. That was an insane move. Pretty impressive to say the least. Something like, oops, wrong spot, sorry. Here we go. Yeah, queen takes b4, check. And it comes there. Ah, there we go. Knight f5. If king comes over here, you can actually take here. If he queens, you still have a queen d6 check. If he comes here, queen c5. If he comes back, there we go. It comes there. And then knight c3, and kazam. Oops, sorry. King here, and king there. Ah, darn. Darn tootin', we were so close. Okay, let's get on this. Let's hit a home run here. Two of black's pieces are pinned. So I'm looking at knight d5, queen d7, and knight f6 check fork. Knight d5 attacks the queen. Economy, what do you think about knight to d5? I do see knight d5, queen c7 or c8, knight f6 check. If king, king f8. What's the line for if you were thinking rook takes g7? Like rook takes g7, check, king takes g7. So like rook g1 check, king f8. I really don't I think he could go king to e8 at that point though. So we have it set a We haven't set a net for him yet. There is no king e8 could be played at that point right there, and he runs. So that's what I was trying to figure out. He could try king e7 though. He could try king e7. Or maybe king, king d8. Oh, okay. Well then, king d8 at that point. King d8. That's right. Sorry, king d8, not king e7. Oh, we can't go king d8. Yeah, okay, I see what you're saying. Let's give her a go. Oops, so let's see if this is... Oh, it works. It works. Oh, we missed one line. Drat. Nope. No. Oh, we win a rook. Sorry. Let's see. Why did the other one not work? Maybe it's because he runs. I was thinking it might be because he runs. I didn't consider mixing those though. Darn it. We gotta get our points back. Come on, we gotta do this right. Let's not... We gotta have 100%. We gotta be 100% on this. Hundred and ten. Come on. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? So the knight's attacking our queen. Okay. Queen e1, check. King h2. Bishop e5, check. If g2, queen takes. f2, check. King h1. Queen f3, check. King h1, king g1. Okay. Okay. Another good one. Queen takes f4. King h3. G5 check. King h5, and he's safe. Wait a second. No. Well, I guess, let me see. G5 check, King h5. You'd have to play Queen d8, d1, Queen d1, then Knight e2. So that would, he'd block it with Knight e2. But see, the knight would intercept on e2 though. See, the knight intercepts on e2. So it doesn't actually work. I'm wondering if bishop f6 doesn't do anything. Bishop f6 check. King g. The knight would take. Bishop f6, King g4. Let's see if h5 check. King. Right here. This is the line I was talking about. Yeah. So almost forgot one thing. If g5 check, could he go h3? I just realized he potentially could go h3 in that line, and then we don't really have any more checks at that point. Me neither. I'm looking. I got it. Queen takes f4, check. King h, h3, and then bishop bishop to f6, bishop f6. At that point, that should win on the spot. That's actually the move there. Hold on, let me make sure that. See, Queen h6 check, King g4, Queen h4 check, King f3. What am I overlooking? overlooking here. There's something. Let me see here. Queen H6 check. King G4. Queen H4 check. King F3. Trying to figure out how do we infiltrate in for some attack. What am I missing here? For some reason I don't see H6, King G4, H4, King F. There's something, I'm missing something here. What am I missing? Do you see it, Frank? Do you see any, do you see what I'm missing here? I'm trying to, what am I not seeing? There's something amiss that I'm, is it G5? Anything. What are we? I'm looking at. You don't. There's one. We're a move away from completing it. I'm not sure. Is it Queen H6 check, or is it G5? I'm not sure which one to choose from. Can you guys still see my my recording? Hold on. Ah, there we go. Okay. Perfect. Okay. What do you think it is then? Economy, do you have an idea? Because I'm siding more with now I'm siding more with Queen H6 check, King G4, Queen G5 check, King F3, King F3. But he runs at that point, and I don't know if we have really much at that. The only reason I was thinking g5 is if queen takes f4, g takes f5, or f4, g takes f4, knight, we'll say e2, and then rook something. I don't know. Maybe rook g6 or something like that. I'm just like, this is like puzzling me. We do potentially maybe queen g5. Maybe queen g5 puts a maybe a loop on the thing. Maybe that's something like that. It's just like I'm trying to find a mate somewhere here. I just don't see the mate. I don't really see a tactic. I'm kind of lost in, as they say, translation here. Looking, think. Let's see if this is it. Okay. There. That was the best one I could find. Hmm. bishop takes a8, rook takes a8. Would that be equal material though at that point? Oh, nice. That was a good, sweet tactic there. Let's see here. Rook takes rook G. A7 takes G5. Is that right? Let's see. Rook 1 takes G5. H takes G5. Queen F. Which, well, I thought it might be this one. It's this one. So it was right. That was the one. Okay. Okay. Because I don't think the other one actually. Oops, sorry. I gotta see why. Ah, it's this right here. And he gets 2 bishops for the queen. He gets 2 bishops for the queen. But if we take with this rook here, then taking here, we get check, and he doesn't have time to come to f3 at that point. He has to come up. And then right here, and if he comes to there, we actually can play queen takes check there, and then we win the queen. This queen is gone at this point. Drat. Gotta get our points back. Gotta not make mistakes. I mean, mistakes are good, okay, for learning, I understand, but we gotta not lose any more points. We gotta get our points back. Come on. Let's do it to it. We gotta be 110% on this. No, as they say in Top Gun, ice, no mistakes. We have to be like Iceman. Ice cold, no mistakes. That was really good. He was like the unbeatable pilot on Top Gun. So let's see, bishop takes. We're also threatening a rook, but we gotta be careful that our queen doesn't get trapped, because our queen can get trapped on b7 if we take it. So that'd be a not a very wise decision. Bishop takes a 8 would lose the queen. We would get two pieces for the rook, but I mean but it wouldn't be enough material. We are up we're not up material here, so bishop takes f6. Bishop takes f6. Queen takes f6. Is that too simple though? Okay. I thought there might be something. It's not that, so it's not there. But I think, yeah, I was wondering about that. Drat. That's I gotta see why is this not right? There has to be a reason. I think we miss out on winning a material. I think that's the whole point. That's okay. We win too. See if we take the rook. Not good, not good, not good. We have to refocus down. Come on. I had a feeling there was something a little amiss there. We need to get some points back now. Let's see. I don't know. Let's see here. Actually, this is the simple one. Bishop e4. Bishop e4 check is the correct move. Yeah, if we go bishop e2, e2 check, bishop d5 blocks. But bishop e4 check, king has to go to e6, and then bishop takes f3. Really? You're kidding me. Oh. Oh. It drops the rook. Okay, then no. Okay, then oh, drat. I thought for yeah, that's wow. Oh, under. Oh boy, boy. Drat. Yeah, drops the rook. Okay, we need to now re yeah, 100% here. We will. Enough talking. We need to act. Okay. Let's look at our line here. Okay, what do we got? Queen. We have queen c2 that threatens mate. That doesn't really much do anything because of pawn push. Queen takes. Okay, queen takes. Okay, let's calculate this. Queen takes f3, check. Rook takes f3. Bishop c8, check. Bishop takes c8. And then rook e8, check. Mate. If queen takes f3, if rook goes to, let's say, d8, we have queen takes g2, queen takes g2, g2, king takes g2, and we're up a whole rook at that point. Yeah, let's go with it. see here. I'm looking to see where we could potentially trap the queen somehow. Our knight's pinned our king. All we have to do is play knight f4 and we got it. I believe that I'm looking at potentially knight to knight df8. I'm looking at knight df8. And then I think, because what it does is knight df8 stops the g6 escape route, and the queen has to move somewhere. And when the queen moves, let's say queen f7. See, this is what'll happen: knight df8, queen f7 to hold on to the pin. He has to go to queen f7 to hold on to the pin, and I think we just move the king at that point. Let's see, I think we can go king e4, and I really don't see any thing. He'll have to move his queen again, and he'll have to go to queen to g6 at that point, and then we'll play knight takes g6. Yeah. Oh no. That's a puzzling. It's a puzzlement there. I think we'll probably call it on that, and we'll pick up later. Let's see here. Why was queen g2? Oh, okay. I thought somehow I could. Okay. I forgot our knight covered that. Didn't cover that after we checked. So that was a that's a Zook Swamp at this point. And if he plays here, knight f4 picks up the queen. Okay. We will call it a day here on this, because we're kind of a little. We'll get it back. Not to worry. Okay. Do you have any questions before I log off? Alrighty. Well, you know, today was a little tough of a day. I know it's the Lord giveth, Lord taketh away, blessed be the name of the Lord type of day, but you know what? I did make some mistakes, and so it's partly my fault as well. So we have to make sure our lines are better and be more on tune with what we need to do, and that happens. You know, we have to learn so that we don't make it in a very important situation. Like Bruce Lee says, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks, but I fear the man who has practiced one kick 10,000 times. And we become what we think about. That's E. Nightingale. And life is about treasuring your victories and learning from your losses. So we did learn a lot from our losses. And we have to remember that mistakes do not define you. It's how you handle the mistake that defines you. And like what Yazzer says, every long journey begins with one small step. And knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. And like a quote that I thought of was, don't give up, get up. And as always, we have to remember what Rusty says. If you think you can, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. Either way, you're right. And that's kind of the truth of the matter. If you think you can get past where you are, you will. If you think you can't, you won't. Either way, it's gonna one of those ways will happen. You'll find a way, or you won't find a way. And like, you know what? Do we love the Lord if we get all the points in the world? No, that's not the reason. We love Him because you know what? He's good, He's great, and you know what? He takes care of everything. Sometimes we make mistakes, and we learn through that, and it's not fun, but it's better to make them now than over the board, and falling when it truly counts. This is a great learning experience. But remember to always keep pushing forward. Never look back. Always keep moving forward. Never stay in one place too long, because you want to keep honoring the Lord with your gifts. Okay, and tomorrow is the U.S. Championship starts up again. No, sorry, it's I was wrong. Today it wasn't a break yesterday. I apologize about that. I thought that they said it was going to be a break, but they kind of started the tournament a little awkward, so I think they had to extend the day one more day. So I believe tomorrow is a break. That's what they said. So we'll find out if it is or isn't. And if it isn't, then we'll get to watch. Great. And if it is, then we'll wait till the next day to watch more great chess. And as Leslie So says through the Lord Jesus, and as I say, God bless, and I'll see you guys next time on Chess Cruncher TV. Have a blessed morning, afternoon, evening, and Lord willing, we'll be back on, and I'll keep pushing forward to our 2600 level marker, and onward and upward. And always remember, Be a chest cruncher. Okay. Be blessed, and I'll see you tomorrow.